So I've had some questions about the radio, what the controls are on the radio and how they work. So I was going to go ahead and cover that. When you look at it at first, it's kind of intimidating because there's all these switches and dials and buttons, all this crap going on. What in the world is all this for? Well, this is a 6-channel radio, so it's a little more basic than most, but the main things that you got to worry about is the sticks. So we'll go over those first. There's a stage 1 and there's a stage 2, or a setup 1, setup 2, whatever you call it. This one's a 2, and that means that your throttle is on the left hand side and your aileron and rudder or elevator are going to be on this side. Your rudder is on this side. So that's stage 2. Otherwise it'd be the other way around. This would be your throttle and your rudder, and this would be your aileron and your elevator. The way I like to think of these when I'm looking or explaining for people to know how to operate a helicopter on the simulator or whatever is, imagine that you stuck something in the top of it, okay? Like a screwdriver or a pencil, and that is what the right stick is, the stick right here. So if you want to go down, you push the right stick down. Just imagine like that. If you want to go left, make that stick go to the left, to the right, to the back, and as long as you're standing behind it, it's all WYSIWYG. What you see is what you get. So that's that. And this one on the left, so this is the screwdriver we just talked about for stage 2. Stage 1 would be on the other side, but everything modern days is all stage 2. So anyway, or style 2 or whatever it is. If I had a manual close by, I'd look and see what the specific word is, but you get the idea. So this is the throttle, and this controls 2 things on a helicopter. It controls the pitch and it controls the throttle. Now you can program in your radio what you want the pitch and all of that to be. Let me get behind here so you can see it. See, like on here, you can choose, this is the model number 9, this is a T-Rex 500, but you can click your menu button on your roller wheel. This is so dirty. What if we go like this? That's better, isn't it? So you can go model select, DR and Expo, travel adjust. There's all of these things that you can program into the radio. You got your throttle curves, so you can go in there, and as I go up with the throttle, see that line in the middle? This is how I like to have my throttle curve when I'm in the normal position. When you do idle up, so you've got normal mode or stunt mode. So in normal mode, that's the way I like my throttle to go. So as I'm moving that stick on the left, that's what my throttle curve looks like. Isn't that cool? Don't you wish you could do that on your race bike? That'd be awesome. So that's that. We'll kick this back out to the list, but you can adjust that any way you want it, and the pitch curve is the same. So I'm going to do that in another video. So you can go through and you can just do all kinds of programming, and the radio takes care of it for you. Isn't that the beautiful, wonderful thing about computers? And it'll just tell the servos and everything what to do, how to do, you know, through the various channels. Now, like I say, this is a 6-channel, so the receiver has 6 spots or 6 slots. So that's the receiver in the back there. That is the transmitter or radio, and this is the receiver. So that broadcasts, and this is what receives it. You count these, it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different spots with plugs in them. 2 of those are for the gyro, which is for the tail rudder. That little guy, it's kind of automated somewhat. And there's an extra spot for battery power. You know, you can put something in there for if you want to have lighting, if you want to build a scale helicopter or whatever. So let's go back to the sticks. We're not done there. So this does your throttle and your pitch. So the faster and harder this thing goes, it also makes the blades pitch up, which is like the wing on the airplane, you know, to make the helicopter go up. And this is side to side for your rudder. And imagine that you're sitting in the cockpit. This moves the nose of the helicopter to the right. This moves the nose of the helicopter to the left. A lot of rookies, when they start out, they make the mistake of just looking at the tail of the helicopter or the side or just the blades. No. You got to look at the nose, and then everything makes sense. Because if you look at the nose, that pushes the nose down, back, you know, is a lot better, especially, you know, when you're doing your rudder control. Now what's with the rest of this stuff? You don't use all of these switches for all of your different apparatus. Like on that one, you see the flaps on it. It's got the flaps down. That one would be controlled by this. This is flap gyro. So that would put your flaps down, that would put your flaps up. And you can reverse it and switch it around, program it any way you want. The main ones that you use on the helicopter are this one, which is the throttle hold. So basically, if you have a throttle hold on, it'll just auto rotate and it won't have the engine driving it anymore. And the other one that you use a lot is the stunt mode. You know, you saw me flipping this one earlier. You can flip your gyro rate mode. Elevator doesn't do anything on this helicopter. And your trainer one's for programming, and it also starts your timer. See how it's counting down? I usually fly for about 8 minutes on a battery. That's generous to make them last long and everything be good. So you got your trainer button, that's spring loaded. So that stopped it. Now if I hold that down, it's going to reset that back to 8 minutes. So you use this switch for your throttle hold. You can't turn the radio on with the throttle hold on. Everything has to be in the 0 position. So you've got your idle up mode. That just says I want the motor to go full blast, 100%, and then this only controls the pitch of the blades. When you go into flying 3D, you know, like on the canopy here it says 3D. How does a helicopter fly upside down? I have people ask me that when I'm flying at the park all the time. They're like, was that flying upside down? How'd you do that? Well, if you tell this thing, I want you to go full tilt, and you know, I run mine at about 90–95%. Then what this does is, if you're in the middle, then the blades are perfectly level. If they're down, then they're pitched up, you know, assuming they're, you know, going this way, which means that it's throwing the air up, just like the spoiler on a car throws the air up to push a back axle down. So that's the way that works. So I think I've explained pretty much everything. Throttle cut, you know, that turns off a gas engine. It'll also, you know, be a temporary thing, you know, for auto rotating, just like if you were to do the throttle cut here. Or throttle hold is what this one's called. They're all labeled, but you don't even look at your radio when you're flying. I like to have a strap on mine because you want to hold your controls like pencils, because that gets you much better control over your aircraft. Or, you know, I run this radio even with my truck. I've got a little 3/4 ton Dodge truck. It's built on a Tamiya CR01 rock crawling frame. It's got a metal frame and everything. It's awesome. So, and what I do for that one is you program your radio whatever you want to do. And so this one, it's return to center. And so with that being the way it is, this is forward with the truck, that's reverse, this is turn left, and this is turn right. And I still hold it like a pencil. Just like a pencil, you get better control over what your hand... Imagine if you wrote, you know, with a pencil with just, you know, holding it in your fist, having only one grasp. I mean, that's what this is all about. People do that, and some of them are really good and fly better than I do. But this is a good way to have a lot better control. So that's how the controls work on your radio.